ボスラッシュポッドキャスト。
Hello, everybody. Doing a quick check real quick. Alright, seems like microphone is good, audio is good. Alright, welcome everybody to Bosurasshu Podcast Episode 6. This might be a little short, or a shorter podcast than usual. I do have some things to talk about today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the fnaf discussion that we had earlier, which was the HHN fnaf discussion. So, it has been almost completely confirmed that the HHN house for FNAF will definitely not be happening this year. It's most likely going to be something they will pick up on next year, especially if there's some sort of success for the movie that happens this year. So if there's a huge turnout, then I can almost guarantee that this movie will actually have Universal make the HHN haunted house for this. So it's unfortunate to hear this kind of news, but it's kind of given, seeing as how there hasn't been real marketing for this quite yet. No trailer hype, nothing. We just know that it exists as a movie and is supposed to come out this year. So that was a small just information that I got on it. One of the big things, it's still not confirmed, but there have been several resources about the movie stating that two key figures within the group have stated that this would be a rated R film. It's not guaranteed, but these are people who worked on the film. And this goes back to my discussion on episode 5, where if they do decide to make this a rated R film, it's going to turn a lot of the earlier teen, like preteen years, and even younger away from the movie, because there is quite a handful of those age group fans, anywhere from like 8 to 13. FNAF is really popular within that age group, and I'm shocked to see that they wouldn't go the PG-13 route. But it's understandable, because it is... Actually, you know what? I take back what I said. It's not even really understandable, because I don't think I've actually seen any sort of gore or blood throughout any of the FNAF games. Maybe if they take like a purple guy and he gets, you know, what was it, like the spring trap like inside of the suit killing him, maybe they'll make that kind of gory or bloody. But other than that, I don't think there's actually any real um any sort of like blood or anything that would make it a rated R. Maybe if it shows like the birthday kid. I know they have like the weird Atari 2600 look where he turns into a skeleton and dies. Maybe they'll have like a rated R scene for that. I'm still set that this could actually be a PG-13. But the fact that two people actually came out and said that it's going to be rated R kind of throws everything off a bit. So it's something to look forward to. Is the huge fan base is torn halfway in the middle. Half are saying that it should be rated R. It's got the creep factor, needs to scale it up like Willy's Wonderland, just like how MTZ said. The other half is it should be PG-13 because that is what's going to get it more spotlight because the younger fans are going to want to have their parents take them out too, which is kind of weird in a sense because parents shouldn't really be taking their kid to this movie anyway because it's Blumhouse and it's horror, so it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. But Blumhouse's track record would tell me that after what they did with Megan, they would go PG-13. Almost like an intentional trial for fnaf, the fnaf movie, to become a PG-13. But maybe it didn't work out, and maybe they changed their mind. Maybe it's going rated R. Who knows at this point? The the next discussion I would like to talk about is, where is it at? The Super Mario Bros. Movie is at a new milestone. It worldwide has hit about $700 million. So from what I looked up, it hasn't actually debuted in Japan yet. Shocker, right? I know. It hasn't actually done its debut in Japan. So for it to be at $700 million, $700 million, it hasn't even shown up in Japan yet, let alone South Korea, from what I understand too. This is gonna make it so much money. Like this is easily going to be $1 billion. I know how big the following is in Japan for Minions. In case if y'all haven't realized, Japan is hyper obsessed with the Minions, to where they have a huge chunk of Universal Studios Japan dedicated to just the Minions. But still missed out on a billion. They were just shy of $1 billion. I think that this is what's gonna really put Universal on the map. Disney has been screwing up left and right. Oh, excuse me, I'm still tired. I need some more coffee. The rain doesn't help either. It's been really rainy, and I'm the kind of person where if it starts to rain, I start to get extremely tired. So forgive me for the yawning. But back on topic, the Mario movie, if this ends up going the $1 billion route, not only is it going to start the video game movie renaissance with Sonic and Mario being at the forefront. We're not counting like Alicia Vikander's like Tomb Raider or Tom Holland's Uncharted, because let's face it, those movies are whack. They're gonna do more of a CG, somewhat faithful adaptation visually wise when it comes to video game movies, unless it's something like The Last of Us, where it's not CGI per se, but visually in real life it is pretty accurate for the most part. Ellie is debatable, but the show, from what I heard, is actually pretty darn amazing. So Japan and then Korea, I'm assuming, will be next. I'm gonna say it here, it's gonna hit the billion mark, and probably Universal's gonna throw everything they got at Illumination. They might even let DreamWorks take a jab at it, but I think that solely rests on Nintendo's hands. Nintendo is the primary shareholder in this contract to where they're lending their license out for their IP and will probably make the call on how it's being used. So, most likely a Donkey Kong movie is given. Legend of Zelda movie is possible. If anybody's been following up on the Universal Park trend, they are going to permanently close Poseidon's Fury, which is a very like old attraction for Universal. It's kind of like not even a ride; it's more of just a stage show. And they're gonna take that whole area and kind of refurb it. And the longest running theory for that was a Zelda Breath of the Wild kind of area. Pardon me again. That's what a lot of people think that they're going to do with it, because that area is, sadly enough, one of the least attracted areas. You have their best diner over there. I can't remember what it's called, like the Atlas or something. And then Poseidon, and then the Talking Waterfall, or Water Fountain, sorry. But other than that, there's nothing really over in that area. And it's in between Seuss Landing and Hogsmeade, the Wizarding World area. So everyone literally goes from entrance to Seuss Landing, goes past Poseidon and that whole area over there, just to get to Wizarding World, Hogsmeade. So they do go past it. There is traffic, but there's nothing over there to really stare at. People will consistently pass it up. So I think this is Universal's jab at they saw the success, and I think it was like a week after the movie they announced that they are going to close the Poseidon's Fury ride, which is getting a lot of theory crafters going right now that this could be the moment that they want. Universal's going all chips on Nintendo right now, and I'm all for it. I am all for it. So that is our update on the Mario movie. I will give y'all consistent updates on the Mario movie to make sure that we get what we need information wise, because I'm sure everyone, just like myself, is ready for some more video game movies. Let me take a quick sip of my water. I'll probably make me some more coffee for the Mario Kart, or for the Mario 64 playthrough. This goes out to the Master Duel players. So I play a lot of Master Duel, and recently there has been a massive flood of the Tearlaments. If anyone isn't familiar with Tearlaments, essentially this is a new archetype that came out for Master Duel. It's been out for some time in OCG and TCG. Their synergy is with the Ishizu cards, which I mentioned before, where they take the top cards, or was known as milling the cards from the top of the deck, and sending them to the graveyard to activate effects. The Tearlament cards, excuse me, synergize with the Ishizu cards, where some of their effects activate within the graveyard, and their fusions to make stronger versions of themselves take from the graveyard and go back into the deck. So it refunds the cards that they previously dumped into the graveyard. The downside with this is that this deck doesn't just mill their cards, it mills your cards as well. So if you're playing against them and they're also dumping your cards to the graveyard, and it hurts because you may lose valuable cards that you were planning on using. This has been a huge problem in Master Duel currently, where people are rushing and rushing and rushing just to hit that diamond rank. And this kind of guarantees it. There are some counters to it. As y'all know, I play Dynamorphia in Master Duel, where I hurt myself to get stronger for the game. So the lower the life points, the stronger the Dynamorphias get. So it's already risky as is, and having valuable cards like that dumped into the graveyard hurts. But there are counters for this. If anyone's been paying attention to my Master Duel gameplays, I am making a counter deck just for this, which is Mash Change 2, which will let me take my 4-star monsters, my Dinomorphia like Theresia, and Mash Change it and fuse it into Elemental Hero Dark Law. And what Dark Law does is anytime a card goes to the graveyard, it gets banished instead, which is a huge counter for Tearlaments and Ishizu because they have to work in the graveyard. But since they get banished, they don't work at all. So anyone watching this podcast right now, make sure you go and look up Dark Law. All you need is Dark Law, and you need Mash Change 2. And that's it. If you can get him out on turn 1 and just sit him on the board with maybe some protection, just in case if they try to target him, they can't do anything. You literally shut them down. So try to keep that in mind if you start running into problems like a Ishizu Tearlaments. Get things like Dark Law or Necro Valley where they can't actually use any of their effects in the graveyard. So stuff like Called by the Grave is another option. So if they try to activate in the grave, make sure you banish that card. You can negate the effect as also. We need to show Konami. I know that they're making some serious cash on this pack, so they're not going to try to nerf any of these cards really. They have them set to mostly like 2s at the moment, but there are some problematic cards that just need to be completely banned, but limiting them to just 1 card is still making the deck somewhat viable. Not as consistent, but definitely viable. That is my update on the Master Duel meta right now. We'll talk more about Tearlaments later, but that has been something that I've wanted to discuss for a while. So, if anyone's familiar with VTubing, I used to VTube in the past, and now I'm just PNG tubing right now. Even got some of my friends like MTZ into VTubing. We have this thing called Oshis. Now, what Oshis are essentially people that you support. It's mostly thrown around the VTubing community. So I had some Oshis that would jump around at first. It would be anywhere from Luna from Hololive to Ina from Hololive, then to Tenma, and then Pippa. Pippa was my last real Oshi that I had for the longest time, and I kept following Pippa because her content was so unique. But I found someone new. I didn't think I was gonna really go full on in like I would normally, and that's Kyla. Kyla is Hololive's Indonesia VTuber, and essentially her gimmick is that she is a VTube gamer that doesn't suffer burnout and is more or less committed to playing. Whereas normal VTubers would follow a linear set schedule, she more or less would continue to explore set game. So she'll turn around and find all sorts of secrets and certain things that we haven't been able to play around with in certain games. So I started watching a lot of her content, and people were surprised by the way she takes certain things. Video game burnout is a thing, especially if you have a full-time job. If I come home after a stressful or long day at work, I don't have the energy nor the motivation to want to play set games. But Kyla, this is not just something that she loves to do. It's her dream job. She just wants to be able to make a living and be able to play games. So because of her new job with Hololive, she's able to do both, where she can actually get some cash so she can live sustainably and also do the thing she loves, which is play games. She has everybody all the time like wow, you're level 600 or something on Phasmophobia, or you have over 1,000 hours in Minecraft already, and you have like literally everything. It's because she's not obsessed with min-maxing. She's just obsessed that she wants to play the games. She just wants to have fun. She just wants to enjoy herself. And right then and there, I literally just was like, I have to support her. She's cool. She's definitely the type of Oshi I could get behind. What kind of Oshi do you support? Do you support Hololive, Niji Sanji? Leave a comment when I upload this to YouTube. I'm kind of curious. I'm always keen to looking at new VTubers and watching them. Whether it's Hololive, Holo Stars, Niji Sanji, Bishojo, you name it. I love all those people. So shoot me an idea, because currently I'm sitting on Kyla as like my new Oshi. Sorry, Pippa, love you to death, but there's just a vibe with Kyla. As much as I love Pippa's, you know, zero BS attitude, Kyla's laid back attitude just kind of, takes off like a rocket, and I can get behind that. So yeah, that is my Oshi that I am currently backing. Hololive Indonesia's Kyla, or as Sana would say, koala. So, I've already gave a preview to some people about this, but let's talk about Moushley. Yeah, the people who are Resident Evil fans, Resident Evil 4, especially the Resident Evil 4 remake, might be somewhat familiar with this meme. So, a popular artist, I think on Twitter is where the origin came from, came up with a statement: what if Ashley was a mouse in the game? She has mouse-like characteristics. So he drew what would be like the left side of this picture is the closer like art to his drawing. This is just an animated GIF of set Moushley meme, but the internet took storm, similar to how they did with Bowsette for Super Mario with the Super Crown. Moushley took off, and I can get behind it. I can see the mouse characteristics for Ashley, especially in the newer game, being super helpful, but at the same time, just kind of there. Pint size, can fit in your palm in the hand. So the whole thing was Twitter and Reddit took the fandom, got creative, and made several videos and several artwork with the Moushley, which is the joke being mouse and Ashley, so Moushley. And I became obsessed with this meme. I think this meme is extremely adorable. There's a lot of charm behind it. So much that I'm going to almost permanently add Moushley to the podcast because she's so dang adorable. So if I could get a drum roll, please. Da 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 da. Boom. This little Moushley. She's going to be part of the Bosurasshu podcast family. She's just going to be down here, chilling. Just, enjoying the campfire. I may put her on my head or shoulder. You might see her move around every now and then. But for right now, she just wants to vibe. She likes the campfire. Coffee's not ready for her yet. It's still on my little Bunsen burner thing over here on the corner. But she's just vibing. She's a dope little creation. The mods are going to get excessive with this, I guarantee you. I know someone's going to get super creative and make it to where she is just like a little mouse running around. Instant buy. Instant download. Do it. Come on, internet. You got a job. Time's ticking. So, Moushley is an interesting meme. So I'll end up doing meme what I'll call it the meme corner review. So Moushley will be dubbed as the first meme corner review. So congratulations, Mousy. If I had a soundboard with clapping right now, I would play it, but I don't, and I'll set it up. And yes, I've seen everybody's discussion. Oh, Moonlit Kaiser, can you like please add notification sounds and stuff when we follow you? I'm working on it. Kick is complicated. I've tried this one tutorial and for some reason it's not working. Apparently the app hates me. But give me some time. I'll still acknowledge you. People who follow me will get the OG badge. I think it's like the first 25 people, so don't worry. When you follow me, you get an OG badge. Patience. The last things I want to talk about, I'm going to go back on the Zelda game again. Mousely. I'll have to set her order right. There we go. Sorry, Mousely, I did not realize you were that big. Let me move you here. Perfect. So, Tears of the Kingdom is right around the corner. I think we have like 20 something days still left. The theory crafting that I've been reading into is rather strong with a lot of sources. So people are definitely set on there being some sort of ties to Twilight Princess, whether it's like the symbols, the color, the markings, the aesthetic, the weird inaudible kind of talking that is similar to Twilight Princess. There's a lot of people who are pretty set that this is going to be Twilight Princess connected. We still have 20 something days, but don't be surprised. I'm one of those people that is also set on it being heavy on Twilight Princess. So I wanted to give a brief update on that. I still don't really see people talking about Zant at all, or Zant. So he may not return. It just wouldn't surprise me that they would actually bring him back as a character because he's pretty well written. Midna? Midna would definitely come back. Midna was such a popular character, they're not going to let that character waste. So, just be ready. I'm calling it right here now. We're going to see her. If we don't see her, well darn. Hate for that to happen, but there's nothing we can do about it. But that pretty much concludes podcast 6. No, it's a little shorter than some of the other ones that we had. But don't worry, we'll end up having a longer one in the next couple days. We're going to talk about Super Mario 64. So, I had some technical issues that I went back and watched the previous episode. My audio for it was a little too high, so you could actually hear my voice. I'm going to kind of correct that today. I'm trying to find that sweet spot for when I do my gaming. Because a lot of people were messaging me and telling me that they did like the voices and stuff that I did for the characters. So I'll keep doing that. Unless other people decide otherwise. So the audio will be fixed. Two things that we did was yesterday was my off day. My wife was off. So we spent most of the day together. But I did go through and off stream I got the penguin race star and I got the fly cap in the sky star because I wasn't so sure how long it was going to take me. The penguin race took me about 5 tries. I had some weird control issues and the penguin was hyper annoying because it would bump into me and would knock me off the stage. I wasn't so sure if I was going to do that online during stream because I was afraid that it was going to take too long. So I didn't want to run the risk of, like, even in a VOD and stuff, people getting kind of aggravated by that, but it wasn't too bad. So I do apologize about that. The second one was the fly cap in the sky for the castle scene. Surprisingly enough, I got that on a second try off stream. I didn't realize it, but Mario's hitboxes count as his hands too. So if I come at an angle and I have both of his hands hit the red coins, it collects them. I wasn't too familiar with that until that actually happened. It was on pure accident on the first try. And then when I realized that, I had him jump down and then restart it over that level so I could use his hands and kind of shorten the time because you are timed with the flying cap. So doing that again with that set in mind, I was able to complete it rather simple or simply and faster than I did before in previous attempts. So that is the update on Super Mario 64. So we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick break. I'm going to brew some more coffee just so I can stop some of this yawning. And we will get back to the gaming portion of Super Mario 64 and see where we get at. I think with the penguin and the fly cap, I'm at 27 or 28 stars. So I need 70 total to beat the game. I'm not looking for 100% unless I get comments recommending me to. Then I can eventually go back and I will do all the star run. For now, I'm just looking to complete the game and then move on to a new game. So, thank y'all for coming out to Bosurasshu Podcast Episode 6. Mousely and I will be transitioning over to the gaming portion, and we will see y'all soon. Later.